So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about shelving and making adjustable shelves. And mainly I'm going to talk about one of the ways that I like to do it. Now right now I'm working on a bookshelf for my son here, and he's actually helped me build it, which is actually the first project he's ever really worked with me on, building something, but it's his bookshelf, so he's excited, and so am I. But one of the easiest ways to put in adjustable shelves is by drilling holes in the side here. And you want to have a number of those holes, and you want to have them all line up. So you want to have 2 rows of holes going down here that are going to line up across from each other, and they're also going to line up on the other side too. So about the easiest way to do that is with a jig. Now Rockler makes this shelving hole jig-it. I think it's called jig-it. Yeah, jig-it is a template. And it's for creating those holes across the side of the cabinet, or inside of the cabinet, I should say. Now, all it is just a number of holes spaced out equally. And by using a jig, you can always start with a bottom so that it always starts in the same spot. So now this is something that you could make on your own. I mean, you can make this with an 1/8 inch piece of hardboard and a piece of wood here, screw it together, then drill out the holes on your drill press and just make them even. But there's something to be said about a clear template. It does make it a little bit easier. And again, you could buy, the plastic for that. But I do like the way this is set up, and I think right now they have one set that's on sale for $29.95. That's the 1/4 inch one. I have the 5mm one, and the regular price for this is $39.99. So it's $40 for this. But you do get the drill bit. Now, if you made this on your own, you'd have to buy this, and this is going to cost you $16.99. So $17 plus tax. So you're spending a little bit more, but you actually get both these things together in the package. So it does make it worth it. But the way that this drill is set up is that this drill goes on the end of your drill, and when you press down, it allows the drill bit to come in so far. So it has a ridge right around the top here, and it inserts into the template, and when you push through, it drills the hole out for you. Then you go to the next hole and next hole. Now, in our case, we use every other one because a lot of times having it this close really doesn't make sense. Some people use every 3rd one. Whatever you want to use, that's fine. There are also better ones, more expensive ones that actually will clamp on both sides and will allow you to do one side and the other. Now, the way that this works is that, hopefully you can see it, is that you use the stop block to bring it in, and you bring it down to the very bottom. And I always mark all of my cabinets on the bottom pieces. So I take my sides and I put a B on the bottom, and then we lock this down onto there and clamp it. I clamp it into place. And then now we can start with the first hole, then every other hole, drilling it out and working our way through. Now, once you get to the end, what happens is that you have a hole that stops in a certain spot, and you can take one of these pins, and they have this little pin alignment. So you can press your indexing pin through and press it into that hole, line it up perfectly with that hole, clamp it all down, and continue drilling on up till the rest of the cabinet is done. Now, a real long cabinet, you probably have to set this up like 5 or 6 times, but it's really rather quick to set up. And if you wanted to, I guess you could just put the index hole in, hold this thing against there, and just work your way around. I like to clamp it down, make sure it's all lined up good, and then work on in. So you do it on one side, and then you flip this on over and work on the other side. And the nice thing is the holes are equally spaced from both edges, so that if you have this edge down, you flip it over and put that edge down, they're exactly the same. The other thing that I do like about it, again, it's lightweight, you can see through it, but the indexing holes really help out quite a bit on lining it up. Now this has 2 sets of holes, one on the outside, one on the inside. And the reason for that is that when you do a hole on one side of the piece of wood, if you flip this on over to the other side and you drilled in, such as the centerpiece in our bookcase, we want to have holes on both sides of the plywood. Well, if I drill in on one side of the plywood, this hole, and on the other side over here, then now I have the 2 holes crossing each other, so that they're not, they're not directly onto each other. And then that way you won't have a hole going all the way through the cabinet. You have one on each side. So it gives you a little space between them, and it's not that far where it's going to put that much pressure on the shelves to, you know, sort of wobble or go a little bit loose towards the front or back where they might tip. So I think this jig is well worth the $40, especially since how you get that with it. They have different sizes. This one here, this particular one is a 7/32. They have a 1/4 inch. They have a 5mm. And a 5mm is what most of mine are set up to be. And the reason I went with 5mm, to be honest with you, is that at one time these pins were on sale, and I bought like 100 or 200 of them from all of my kitchen cabinets. And at the time, the ones that were on sale were the 5mm one. And at that time, it just so happened that the Rockler jig-it setup was, the 5mm was on sale, so I bought that. And you know, now today, as I speak, which is the first part of January, the 1/4 inch jig-it shelving unit is on sale. So you know, if I was to buy it today and these things were on sale, I'd probably go with a 1/4 inch. So it doesn't matter which one you use. It's just a matter that you line, you know, you make sure you have the right drill bit for the pieces that you have to go in there. Now, the reason I have the 7/32 one here, this also fits in the same jig, is that I do have brass pieces that I can put inside the cabinets that give a little more of a finished touch, and those are 7/32. And so those holes I drill, I put the brass piece in, and now all these can go into brass instead of going into just wood. So it adds a little finish. It's a little more costly, but that's what I wanted to have for our kitchen cabinets. Now this particular one, we're just doing 5mm, drilling it out, and you'll be seeing a video on this one very soon on how we built this bookcase here for my son. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I really appreciate all of you that watch the channel, and especially all of you that comment and give me some other ideas and share your thoughts and your woodworking skills. I do appreciate that, and I like reading them all and answering. So, you know, if you have a better way or you think of something else you'd like to add to this, please do leave a comment below, and I hope you'll be watching on the next video. Thanks for watching this one. Take care.